You're not the image of an animal. You can rise above your inclinations and be something bigger and better than what you're inclined to do. And in fact, all of us should resist some of the inclinations that we have in life. That's what makes us morally culpable human beings. We're not defined by our desires at Oklahoma Wesleyan University. We expect people to behave biblically.
If that were not true, then a heterosexual couple would have sex because that's who they are. That's who God made them to be, and therefore they're expressing themselves.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you can have one without the other, and I don't hear pastors talking about that. Those who take a liberal view of homosexuality look at the heterosexual and say nothing. But the truth of the matter is, if it applies in one case, it applies to the other.
It's the slippery slope, and you're spot on that if you believe in sexual licentiousness, if you believe in sexual license rather than sexual morality, if you believe that sex is nothing but recreation, if it's nothing but consumption, if you will, then your attitude toward all sexual behavior, all sexual decisions is going to follow suit. So whether it's homosexuality or heterosexuality, or whether it's incest, or whether it's bigamy, whether it's polygamy, or whatever sexual appetite you may have, has to be sanctioned if all sex is a recreational choice. I reject that. That is not biblical. It's not even logical. Sex is a moral discussion. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing these things in the newspaper that we see all the time in terms of sexual harassment and sexual assault.
If a student came to your school, and I'm sure this happens regularly, and says, I have homosexual tendencies, but I'm celibate, I'm trying to serve the Lord, and I behave with regard to my sexuality the way a heterosexual who is Christian is trying to behave, would you accept them?
Absolutely. But I would suggest this. Even Gore Vidal, who, as you know, and the listeners should know, was rabidly pro-homosexual behavior when he debated Bill Buckley and otherwise. Gore Vidal was a very sexually hedonistic man. Gore Vidal said this: there is no more such thing as a homosexual person than there is a heterosexual person. These things are behavioral adjectives. Even Gore Vidal admitted that the discussion of homosexuality is a behavioral adjective. It is not a human identity. And I think that's really where the church has lost it today. We have failed to remind culture that human beings are made in the image of God. They are the imago Dei, the image of God. They're not the imago dog. We do not have to subscribe to our every appetite, inclination, and instinct. Human beings can rise above that and behave differently.
In fact, we're called to do that.
We're demanded
in every area of our lives.
Not only biblically, but culturally. What society can exist if the human being doesn't have some sense of moral restraint?
Boy, that's powerfully said.